Host Rebecca Turner. Now, don't forget, you can listen to Good Things. We are streaming live over at supertalk.fm. We're also streaming from the SuperTalk Mississippi app. You can always find us, too, on that local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And you can watch Good Things. We are on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Now, if you are a fan of fresh cut flowers, then I need you to listen up, because we've got with us Donna Yowell. She's the executive director of the Mississippi Urban Forest Council, and she's also with Flower Growers of Mississippi. And y'all are a growing, Miss Donna.
Yes, we are, Rebecca, and thank you so much for having us.
I know. I was thinking, we were trying to figure out how long it's been since you've been with us here on Good Things. You were just getting this idea of Flower Growers of Mississippi started, and I know it's been at least a couple of years. And boy, to say that it's been growing, it's been growing.
Pardon the pun.
This idea that Mississippi was just the right place with rich soil and great gardeners to sort of see this idea of flower growers to sort of take off. And so it's so exciting to sort of see that is kind of you predicted the future. You knew that it was all the ingredients were here for the right recipe.
Well, I had a lot of help, so I can't take credit for it, but we did start the program about 5 years ago, and we have over 16,000 people in the program now. Mississippi is the only state that has a program like this, thanks to our state conservationist. And more families are setting up flower farms all over the state. And it's so rewarding to see these young families and some older families like myself that start these flower farms and get so much enjoyment, and it's very profitable.
Which I think is the piece that perks up anybody's ears who enjoy planting or of Mississippi different than any other state, Donna?
We started the program teaching right before COVID, and as a result of that, we had to go on Zoom. But we also do flower farm schools. We have one outside of Florida and one in Madison as well. But there are no other states in the country that provide this training. Our classes are free to the general public. USDA does say cut flowers is the highest dollar crop that you can grow. And, of course, Mississippi having a long growing season and, like you said, great soil and climates most of the time, then we're a perfect candidate to be a major producer of cut flowers. And I think a lot of people wonder, why now? Well, 86% of our cut flowers are imported from other countries. We can grow 90% of that in America. So it's kind of time to stop giving our job. There are so many, Rebecca. We teach how to grow 150 different types of plant material for the florist industry. So a lot of people go, well, what's a cut flower? Well, those are the flowers that you buy in your flower shop for weddings, parties, funerals, holidays, those sort of things. So there are so many different types. A couple of my favorites are Dutch iris and Asiatic lilies, which is a really high dollar crop, and they're easy to grow here in Mississippi.
So you have done this yourself. You're practicing exactly what you preach, Donna. When you started this 5 years ago, I know you took a gamble on some acreage in your own property to sort of see this through. Walk us through kind of what that story looks like for you personally.
It's been such a blessing. I'm getting close to retirement years. We won't talk about that too much, but I want farm close to him, so I purchased a small place close to Taylor, and I do the flower version, and believe it or not, we do it organically. We do it without chemicals. And of course, one of the things that's really great, my daughter-in-law is a beekeeper, and so the flowers that we grow, they support beneficial insects, and that is going to be a topic in the future that's going to become more and more important.
Do you feel like, Donna, that your flower garden and then Taylor's, I guess, plant, or I was going to say vegetable garden is the word I guess I'm looking for. Edible garden is another, I don't know, whichever way you want to say it. And then that is creating that perfect ecosystem for you guys to be all helping each other?
Yes, and I also think it creates a wonderful lifestyle, and hopefully for the people that live in the area, because Taylor, as you know, feeds a lot of people, and
You harvest your cut flowers, Donna. I'm trying to wrap my brain on like how this happens. I know like if you dig up vegetables, you go to a market and you sell them, right? I mean that makes sense to me.
mhm.
Is it the same exact with cut flowers? You cut your flowers, you put them in bushels or bundles, and then you take them to farmers markets, or maybe you have connections with flower shops in the area. How does the sale piece happen?
Well, one of the things that's wonderful about this product to be growing, or this specialty crop to be growing in Mississippi, we already have the markets. If you think about all the needs for cut flowers, there's wholesale florists, there's retail florists, restaurants, hotels, churches, and the list just goes on. So the markets are already there. All we have to do is learn how to put our product in those markets. And one of the neat things about buying locally grown flowers is taking the same venue, creation. It's one of the best examples of job training that our state has.
Out of those 16,000 flower farmers, as you call them, which I love that, with the flower growers of Mississippi, what's the average plot size? Because I know, like, again, when I hear farming, I think I have to have 100 acres or I have to have this whole homestead like Taylor has. Like, I automatically make big hills out of no hills. So, like, I mean, how much would you need to be considered a successful flower farmer?
Well, the average size flower farm in America is less than 5 acres. I actually grow flowers on less than an acre. You can produce a lot of flowers on an acre of land. The dollar figure that the USDA puts on growing cut flowers is 40 to 50,000 per acre. So you can make a considerable amount of money just growing it, because all of those things are very important. You know, when we import our flowers, which there again, that's a very high percentage right now, and we're working on changing that. Those flowers can take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks to get to the consumer, the florist. So if you're growing locally grown flowers, just think how much fresher they are.
Mhm.
Plus, you don't have the impact of all of the transportation cost.
Is it lower overhead for someone who is interested in becoming a flower farmer than, say, a vegetable farmer or one of the other commodity farmers?
Oh, you're so correct about that, Rebecca, because you don't have to have a lot of acreage, and you actually don't have to have a lot of equipment. So where here in Mississippi, we're used to the commodity farmers that are growing corn and soybeans and cotton and those sort of things that need not access to a lot of land, can actually grow a productive crop that's profitable for them.
And even if not, have fun I guess, in the process of doing it. I mean, who doesn't want to look outside their backyard and just see beautiful cut flowers everywhere they look? Like, I just can't, I just imagine, Don, you wake up and get your coffee and you just look out your backyard with great pride and just look at it as just calmness and relaxation.
Most times that's the case. Like right now, with it being spring, it's just beautiful. But that's one of the other parts about growing cut flowers. Not only is it good business wise, it's great job training, it's great economic development for Mississippi, but it's the human impact or benefits, because flowers communicate, and they help us share our feelings about people and events.
The flower farmers in Mississippi. How do you get started, Donna?
Well, we you can contact us through our Facebook pages. We're getting hacked, seems, on a regular basis now, so we would love to have your email so that we can send you our newsletter, because we communicate through our newsletter, and Facebook and Instagram and some of the other social networking.
Do y'all have a website they can go and put their email in?
We do have a website, Mississippi Urban Forest Council.
All righty, you got that, but we've got more with Donna Yowell coming up next. We're also streaming from the SuperTalk Mississippi app. We hope you can always find us on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. We hope you can always find us. We also hope you can always find us there. If you can't, be sure to let us know. We'll get that fixed. You can also watch us on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. We're continuing our conversation with Donna Yowell. She's the executive director for the Mississippi Urban Forest Council. They are also responsible with the flower growers for me.
Yeah, okay. Mississippi Arboretum Trail.
Arboretum. Okay, what's an arboretum?
An arboretum is basically a park full of trees.
Okay, Arbor Day. So arboretum.
Exactly.
What is the word tree? Arboretum and arbor. So far away from the word tree. Okay, so this is neat. Tell us about this trail.
Well, it's been so much fun. We have partnered with Canadian National Railroad the last 5 years, and we have set up 16 new arboretums, parks with trees throughout the state. We added that to our existing 12, so we have quite a few arboretums now. It is one more reason to go visit that special little town. And all of our towns in Mississippi definitely appreciate help in getting people to visit their towns, because that way their sales tax increases the more people that visit and shop. I've run around the state all these years setting up these arboretums, and it occurred to me we need to let people know where they are, because a lot of people are not really aware of the program and are not familiar with these parks. So we're created a trail system similar to some of our other trail systems, so that you can actually take your children or your family to visit some of these parks.
How do we access the trail system or to see it?
It's on our website. We have a list of the arboretums. We're the only organization. We're a nonprofit organization. We're not a government organization, but we're the only one that does arboretum certification. And we mostly work with cities and city leadership, mayors, to set up these parks. So if any city is interested in a park, we'll be glad to work with them. But as far as visitors, you can find them a list of those on our.
So having more of those is definitely a good thing, Donna. But those take time, right? Like some of the most beautiful trees in our cities, and they've been there, way longer than we even probably recognize. So how do you, when y'all put these arboretums together, how do you do it to make sure that it's going to be trees that'll be there 100 years from now?
The key to that, Rebecca, is diversity, planting diversity, because a lot of trees are fast-growing trees that are more likely to fall during a storm or a wind event. But then, like you mentioned, a lot of our native trees are real slow-growing trees that take years to develop, that are absolutely gorgeous. And they create something called what we call a canopy. And canopies are so important for municipalities, for cities, for neighborhoods, for any place that people live, because it decreases the these mature trees like you're talking about in our cities and in parks in our cities.
And it seems like some folks shy away from that whenever they're looking at, like, I guess, redoing their landscapes or their own home, because it does take so much time. But you're like really planning for the future, right? When you plant trees, I mean, you may not live to see the oak being, as mighty as it will grow to be, but like generationally, you are setting the stage for the next generation or own.
That is so true. When you're picking out a landscape for your own property, keep in mind, a lot of people want instant gratification. So they'll plant something that grows really fast. And that's all fine and good. But then add the diversity of some slow growing trees so that they will be around much, much longer than the other trees.
Yeah, because it definitely takes longer for them to grow than it does
Well, you're right. The drought hit us pretty badly, and we will be having a class on that April the 22nd at the Ag Museum on what to do with those trees, because we did have a lot of loss, especially with pine trees. It made the trees more susceptible to disease and insects, and so that created a lot of dead trees for us.
When you say something to do with them, does that mean once we cut them down, because you can't revive them, right? Like they're no longer with us?
No, if they're brown, they're coming down.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Sorry.
No. Well, we're subject to that, Donna. We live out in the country, and so anyway. So are you saying that maybe there are responsible ways to get rid of the trees that come down, or are there other things that you can donate or do with those trees?
I think the important part is identifying, and it wasn't just the pine trees that we lost, but identifying if it falls, nothing is hurt, like nothing, roadways, wires, houses, that's one thing. But then if it's an area when it does fall that it's going to cause some damage, then you really need to address that in a positive way.
And that would be the most responsible thing to do, right? You wouldn't want to.
Yes.
You wouldn't be on the other side of that.
And the other side of that coin is that you want to mitigate the loss of that tree, the impact of losing that tree, because it may have provided aesthetics or shade or any of these things for you. So think about what you're going to plant in place of that one.
Well, that's something good to think about too. So even though we've lost it, let's put in some regrowth and sort of see to the next sort of phase of your homestead. Really, I mean, if you're having, I know of people who are losing dozens of trees, if not more, and so think of it as an opportunity to plant something.
We have done a lot over the years. It's been just a lot of fun. We help cities become more beautiful is our number one objective in a healthy, sustainable way. And also how to, different projects that can improve individual quality of life or lifestyles. And a lot of that is nature-based, what we call nature capital or green infrastructure. So we work hard on doing that. The success of our small community in Mississippi at this point, it's really going to be determined if businesses want to locate there, if you want to live there, if it's an aesthetic, pleasing, safe place to live. That's going to be the future of the small towns that do well in Mississippi. And any small town has that potential. They just need to pay attention to some of the details and some of the natural assets like we've been talking about.
Any space more beautiful.
That's right. And landscapes need to be taken seriously. For a long time, we just thought of them as maybe frivolous a little bit in some ways, but it's really not. It's determining the success of a community, property values, economic development, job training. So these things really have far more value than we give them credit for.
It also gives your cities a personality, its branding and marketing. I mean, you definitely know the different places for their different landscapes or sort of like structures. And it's not just pots with plants in it. I mean, it's much more intense than that. And I will never look at trees the same way again, Donna. I mean, when you go into a place now, recognizing that everything has its part to play and that sometimes it's in the details and sort of that. Going back to, though, talking about the flower growers of Mississippi or summer, did they come once at a quarter? How often are you guys putting on courses?
We do classes twice a month.
Oh, okay.
Over Zoom. So that's a lot.
But that's also, you don't have to come into Central Mississippi.
Yes. Matter of fact, we started the program before COVID and we were doing hands-on workshops. But now, as a result of that, we switched over to Zoom and many, many more people are involved as a result of that. But we also do hands-on training because we have 2 flower farm schools. And that's important because you really want to get your hands in the dirt and have some experience with that, especially seed starting and conditioning and soil prep and some of those things. So
Seems all intimidating.
oh no,
Donna.
it's fun. We make it fun, and the fun thing, really one of the to me the fun thing about it is you really don't have to have any experience.
You say that. Maybe we'll put it to the test one.
Mississippi and the Mississippi Urban Forest Council.
And if you go to those websites, put in your email because you also give out great information that way as well. Well,
Yes.
Donna, don't wait 5 more years before you come back. How about
Okay.
that? Okay. Well, we appreciate your time. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.
Thank you.